So let's talk about Graduation Day, the 1980 slasher movie that I wanted to see for some time because I do love these holiday or certain days of the year slashers. And Graduation Day is one that I've always just not had a chance to see. And going into it, I was like, I wonder if this will be fun and entertaining. And in some ways it was, and in some ways it was just okay. It wasn't like it wasn't anything like, say, Halloween or like April Fool's Day or like anything like that, but I thought that this was fun for being entertaining, but it wasn't like overall that great. Like, it was all right. I did like how it started out with this rockin' 80s soundtrack. Like, it is fully just 80s. You can tell immediately. Just awesome soundtrack, and it's at this track meet where people are doing the mile run, and then this girl just dies on the track meet. She literally dies because she runs out of, like, she just gets so stressed from the guy who's the coach, and she just dies in the race. She falls down and dies. And then there's a killer just coming to get him. These kids just start getting killed off because of the girl dying. And I guess that reminds me of like prom night too, where like it's like, oh, one kid dies and they cover it up. So now, except for they don't cover it up in this one, everybody sees her die. But like in that one, it's like, oh, it's the same kind of thing where like the killer's getting these kids because they, like, I guess because they were around whenever the girl was stressed and died. The girl was under too much pressure that died. So it's kind of fun, but it's kind of forgettable in a lot of ways. Like, I think it has some cool things about it that I do think make this movie memorable. I thought there was some cool editing effects whenever there's a scene with this Sally girl, and she has these quick flashes where the screen like does really fantastic editing of these murders happening at the same time. Or is it somebody else? I thought it was Sally that had these dreams, but somebody on screen, I'm kind of blanking on it now. Somebody on the screen has these hallucinations of the murders right at the same time. One where she's like doing gymnastics, and like she's seeing all these things happen all at the same time, but the editing is really, really cool. Like, it's surprising for this type of movie that they've got this great editing. It's really cool, showing all these murders and showing them in quick flashes, like really, really instantly quick, and it just surprises me how cool that is. And this movie is fun in ways too. Like, they've got this whole literally like 5 minute or 5 minute long like scene where everybody's at this dance, and this band is playing this song called, like, I think Gangster Rock, while the killer is murdering people, and it does a cool job of showing that while the song is playing, and it gives its own identity to this movie. Like, it gave the movie a funness to it for that scene. Like, I thought the movie was kind of boring in some ways, but in that scene that was really cool, like playing that upbeat song while the killer's just getting everybody during. And then you realize who the killer was. It was, and he was gonna marry Laura, the girl who died at the beginning. So he killed everyone, and it's just kind of like, okay, that's odd, but there's like a final fight with that girl Anne and the killer. But then there's like this weird trick scare after the end of that, where like somebody comes in with a knife to Anne's room, like this, and then the lights turn on, and it's just the guy who's like the dad, and he's just sitting there with a bottle, like just like this, and he's drinking. And that was just a weird way to end it. I'm like, okay, that's odd. So, and then the killer, of course, it shows at the very end of the movie, like the very end post-credit scene, it shows the killer using the clock again, the timer, which he used whenever he killed everybody else earlier. So, I don't know, like, I felt like the ending was kind of lackluster, and the movie in a lot of ways was lackluster. It had a couple cool kills, though. I thought the sword through the throat kill was pretty good. It was like really, like, just, it grossed me out. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then there's one where it was really funny because there's this football that the killer throws at this guy, but it has a spear at the end of it, so he just impales him, and the football's like right on his chest, and he's like, oh, and then falls down and dies. Like, it does have fun things about it. It does. Like, this this does have some fun charm to it, but and some good kills to it, but I think it's just not very interesting overall. Like, I think it's just, it lacks what something like Halloween or Prom Night has, or April Fool's Day has, where like it doesn't have interesting characters that you latch onto. It's like these characters are just there and see something happen, they get killed, or they just hallucinate. Like, it just doesn't have anything that grips me. So it has a fun rockin' 80s score. It's got some fun, charming scenes, but it has zero characters that are interesting. And the killer reveal is kind of like, oh, okay. And why the killer's doing this is kind of weird. So it's just kind of really not that great, besides a couple few things. So I didn't enjoy this a lot. It was alright. It had some moments. But overall, if I would have said this movie as a whole was fun, I don't think so. I think there are fun things about it. I think it's alright. It's got some good kills. It doesn't have any good characters at all, or interesting characters at all. But overall, it's just average. Like, it's an average 80s slasher movie that I can see totally why it is sort of forgotten.